Hey guys, I'm the extra large, and today I'm just gonna ramble on about Destiny while you guys watch my trash gameplay in the background. Remember, if you like anything I say, just like or subscribe. Even if you don't like and subscribe. If you enjoy anything I say or agree with it or disagree, please remember to like and subscribe. I'm gonna be real. I think Destiny 2 is cooked, and there is no saving this game. I think no matter what they do, the format is going to be stale because the game itself has aged very poorly. You may be saying, what do you mean the game aged poorly? It looks great and it runs well on modern computers. And what I mean by that is the core gameplay loop and the grind that they have put into the game is old, stale, and is not rewarding anymore and will not draw in a new crowd or sustain one. Not only has the game got stale, the game has been hacked to pieces to save on content to redeliver to us later on. They sunsetted most of our weapons just to give them back, and we still have not seen some of the Crucible maps that we used to have put in, not to mention the entire Red War story arc that we had. With the Red War being taken out the game, we have no way for new players to be able to learn the game easily. But all of this has been said before. This isn't what I'm here to talk about. I'm not here to talk about the many failings of Destiny 2. What I'm here to talk about is the future of Destiny and what I think it should be. Looking to the future, I don't think we could salvage Destiny 2 because I believe it needs a complete and total loot overhaul and how we interact with the guns and the armor in this game. Starting with the rarity system, I think that exotics and legendaries are given out too frequently to the players, and they are a novelty at this point. There are too many exotics in the game, and they're given out way too frequently. I feel an exotic needs to have a story that the player gets to play through, and they need to be able to build an attachment to it. It also needs to have a clear power fantasy attached with it. That goes for weapons and armor. It doesn't need to have a long quest chain, and it doesn't need to have an instanced activity. It needs a little bit of story and maybe a few open world quests that you go and do for a little bit of a grind before you get this weapon. Now, here comes the big thing that I think a lot of people are going to be upset about. I don't think you should have exotic engrams, and I don't think Xur should sell straight up exotics. Here comes another thing I think the community won't agree with me with, and that's engrams. I don't think they should drop at all. I think legendaries should be dropped at the end of an instance thing at a lower rate and be very, very rare. And I think they should be sold for vendors for currency. I think that legendaries should have static rolls and the origin traits should be buffed to a maximum. Feel not as powerful as an exotic, but close to it. Now to address the elephant in the room. Yes, D2 had static rolls at one point in time. No, I don't think that all guns should have static rolls. Only the exotics and legendaries. Blue tier weapons and below will still have random rolls. This is so that blue tier items can hold up and take the spots of legendaries as they are now. With this, legendaries will become pseudo exotics, and exotics will become powerhouses that earn that title. Now, to talk about how I think they should be giving out the legendaries. I think they should be for reputation vendors such as your Crucible, your Gambit, your Vanguard, your Eris Morn, your Trials of Osiris Saint 14. I also think that your strikes, your encounters should give one out, or at least have a chance to give one out. Think of it like in D1, whenever you would do the strikes to try to get the exclusive gear from that strike. I did it. I did the one with the Scions a shit ton just so I can get one of those fucking capes. Now, I'm going to be real, and I don't really have a way to fix the armor situation since armor is directly tied to stats. Maybe we break our armor up into class sets or subclass sets like we do our weapons. We have the different RPMs, we have the different firing modes. Maybe we have a medium set, maybe we have a leather bound or a steel set, something that just makes it to where we get a different buff that balances with our class, that works with it, synergizes. I've talked about the loot, but now I need to talk about what I think we should do with our loot after we get it, our end game. Right now, our PvP end game isn't really there. We have Trials of Osiris and we have our competitive mode. I don't even consider Iron Banner to be competitive at this point because there's no light level needed for it. We don't really get anything from our competitive mode anymore. I don't want to do it. No one else wants to do it besides to get the emblem. Not to mention Trials of Osiris. We've had so many ways that the mode has been dumbed down and casualized to the point where it's not impressive to see the adept weapons anymore. The only thing I could say to really fix competitive is to bring it back to how it was in D1. Have your trials, only be able to get it by going flawless. Fuck these stupid passages that give you second chances. Make it for the best of the best. You get consolation prizes that are the weapons you can get from the vendor. That is it. Same thing with Iron Banner. Bring it back to D1 where it's light based. If you're not high enough light to get in there and actually do damage to people, you shouldn't be winning these fights. For the people who are saying, oh man, you're elitist, you don't know what you're talking about. Bro, look at the gameplay in the back. I am dog shit. I am a dog shit casual player saying that the elites, these people need something to be proud of so they can show it off so we can have a goal to aim for. Now with the PvP covered, I want to move on to PvE and what PvE should look like at this point, but we're not getting. At this moment in time, Grandmaster Nightfall strikes and raids and dungeons are the only three things you are going to be doing as a PvE in game player, even as a casual. Strikes have become way too easy and have fallen out of the game. You're not doing them unless they're Grandmaster Nightfall or if you're farming for reputation for Zavala. That's all they're good for at this point, and I think that has a lot to do with how the dev team has made these boss fights go. The boss fights and everything, not just the strikes, but the raids, after a while feel like you're playing WoW where you just stand and hit. You're gonna have a warlock put down Well of Radiance, and you're just gonna blast the boss from one area. Occasionally you'll do something different, but at the end of the day, what did we do to the witness? Another thing I would like to see that I don't think we're gonna get is an endless wave mode similar to Suicide Squad Save the Justice League. I know that is a clown car take with a clown car game involved, but think about it. It was a good system in a bad game. Overall, I feel like if we had the strikes in the game actually be worth doing, it would help take these dry spells out of our content droughts, make them more bearable if we have something else to do besides the same dungeons and the same raids on rotation until the next ones come out. Now to talk about one of the harder things to balance or come up with a solution with or come up with anything to fix it, and that is your subclasses. I don't see them being fixed in any meaningful way or changed in a way that means anything now that transcendence exists, because it is going to make it to where everything outside of transcendence is a niche unless you put something that makes them overly powerful that but then you will lose out on your transcendence being worth anything either. You are going to lose one way or the other when it comes to this. The only thing I can hope for if they mess with the subclasses is that they give the classes their unique identities back. The warlock should not only be known as the well bitch, you shouldn't have the hunter being the only form of DPS you're going to need, and titans need to be able to be brought back into the conversation for something that they do completely separate from any other class, like the well or even the tether. We don't have that for the titan, and it shows in how many players refuse to play it now. And again, I don't make this video to hate on Destiny 2. I don't want to hate on the devs, but I do want to point out that I've been playing this game since I was in middle school, and a lot of us have, like many of you have as well. And I sit here, this is the rawest. I'm doing this in one take. We need to come together and figure out a vision that we want Destiny to be. Because right now this game doesn't have an identity and it's shedding players, and we as the veteran community really need to put our heads together and have a conversation about what we think is healthy for the game, what we want out of the game, and what we think other players would enjoy coming out of the game. Because as it is now, nobody wants to play this game, and maybe if this video gets pushed out, maybe if other people go and see it and they start talking about it, it'll generate something greater than we are as an individual. Maybe you can get through to Bungie that, hey, we can deliver something good because this world is something that people want more of. But anyway, again, I'm the extra large. And if you agree with anything I say or like anything I say, just drop a like and a subscribe. Please and thank you.